Okay, so for our next deck, we're going to be moving on to Midrange Sword. So like the previous videos, I'm just going to go through the deck first, uh, talk about what cards I use, and then I'll go back and just kind of go through each card and say why I like the card, why I play the card. Okay, so 2 Quick Bladers, 2 Vanguards, triple Fervent Soldier, triple Veteran Lancer, and then 2 Maid Leader, triple Whole-Souled Swing, the 1 of Angelic Barrage, triple Fencer, triple Novice Trooper, the 1 of Pompous Princess, the 1 of White Paladin, triple Floral Fencer, double Dance of Death, double Aurelia, double Advent Blader, triple Sage Commander, double Otohime, 1 Tsubaki, and then the double Alwida's Command. Okay. So your 1-drops. Quick Bladers, not much to explain, it's just a 1-mana 1/1 Storm with the Officer tag. Vanguard, it's Goblin with the Officer tag, so seeing any of these in your opening hand is always good. Like whether this for the chip damage or this for just for the 1/2 body. Turn 2. Okay, so turn 2 is kind of where you want to, because all your turn 2 plays are very strong. Fervent Soldier kind of has like minor pseudo taunt, because it can very easily get really crazy. I mean, not entirely crazy. Like you drop this turn 2, it's a 2/2, with the potential to be a 3/2 next turn, which some people fear, some people don't. But the extra +1 is just very good, because the 2-mana 2/2 body is already good enough. Veteran Lancer, it's actually very strong. Like this will cut off like a lot of like early aggro decks, because especially ones that like to play things turn 1, because this will trade very well with any aggressive turn 1 drops. But yeah, because the taunt's very good. And Maid Leader. So basically, we don't run any card draw in this deck. All we run are tutoring cards. So just a Mana Commander kind of refills our hand. 1/1 stat's not the best, but hey, Mana Commander pulls very big cards. Very good card late game, because it's kind of a 2-mana draw, usually a big card, because Commander's usually bigger. Whole-Souled Swing. Okay, so for this card, I originally had an extra Quick Blader instead of and just 2 Whole-Souled Swings. And in addition to that, I had another change, which I'll get into later, but don't worry about it for now. So I like this card because it's really good against the aggro matchup, because it puts a body on board if we're behind, and since this is mid-range deck, it doesn't matter too much if we're behind on board in the early game. But yeah, 2-mana 2/2, summon a 1/1, just overall strong. Think of it as like a 2-mana 1/1, deal 2 damage to a minion, which is very good. Angelic Barrage, more board control, good against fairies, good against aggro sword, good against aggro, anything usually, just solid 3-drop. Alright, so our 3-drop lineup. Fencer, every minion you play before Fencer can be buffed, so just having the extra 1/1 will let our minions either trade up, or it'll let them trade with an equal minion but also live. Like, say they turn 3 drop a 2/3, you turn 3 and you have like a Veteran Lancer or whatever on the field, like your Veteran Lancer will die to the 2/3 for free. But you drop the Fencer, make your Lancer 3/3, kill their 2/3 for free, and now you have a 3/1 and a 2/2. So yeah, just a very good value card. Novice Trooper, it's a good charge. Good pretty much any time in the game, even turn 3, just drop it down, 2 face damage, boom. Pompous Princess, so she summons a 1-drop when she comes into play, and yeah, as long as you get the effect off, she's very good, like very good value-wise, because the 1-drops we run, Quick Blader, so you get a 3-mana 2/1 plus 1/1 Storm, that's good. Or you get the Vanguard, so it then becomes a 3-mana get 3/2, or get 3/3 in stats, which is very good. Yeah, we used to run 2 because we used to run more 1-drops, but I'm shifting this deck towards more control-ish lately. Like, it still does good as like a semi-aggro deck, but it's not more control-based. Okay, so this card is kind of what made me switch to a more control-based deck. Its Evolve is very, very strong, especially if your opponent is like a Forestcraft and they lead their fairies up rather than using their broken-ass Ancient Elf to return them back. You drop this, you evolve it, boom, you get a field of 1/1 taunts. Very, very good. Very good against like decks that kind of want to burst you out of hand with a storm. So things like Face Dragon, like this will stop the Fortes. Very, very well, very good. Also will stop other banner decks, Banner Storm, Banner Swords. yeah. Turn 4, we only run one 4-drop, the Floral Fencer. This is basically the Swordcraft's turn 4 Broken Evolve. It just provides a lot of stats on board. You evolve it, you get a 4-5, a 2-2, and a 1-1. So yeah, turn 4, evolve, 4-5 plus 3-3 is what, 7-8? Yeah, and the 4-5 can trade in something, so yeah, it just leaves a lot of pressure and threat on board for your opponent to deal with. Dance of Death. I run 2 in pretty much every deck I play. Good removal, deal 2 damage. Aurelia, Regal Saber. So past here is where most of our control cards are, or most of our kind of mid-rangey value cards are. 5 mana, 2/6. Ward, so very bad, just drop. Because honestly, the angelic thing is the same stats. But yeah, so you definitely, but the +1/+0 is very good. Lets her trade very well with mid-game and late-game minions if your opponent has a bunch when you drop her. But this second effect is really, really strong. Like, this will make it so she's very hard for certain decks to deal with. Like, it's essentially the Minyu. It's essentially like a giant Minyu if your opponent has 3. So against decks that, like, really rush at you with face, she'll be really strong because they won't have any way to remove her other than using their minions that they want to go face on her. But yeah, so very good taunt. Like, all of Swordcraft's legendaries are really strong. But moving on. Advent Blader, very good late game drop because it's essentially a 5 mana 3/4 draw 2. Draw 2 officers. Which, I mean, it's really good because 3/4 is like 4 mana's worth of stats. So you basically could do playing a 1 mana, draw 2 random officers. So yeah, very strong. And then you can always evolve it, trade. But yeah. Sage Commander, give +1/+1 to all other allied followers. This, I mean, even though it's mid-rangey, this deck still swarms a decent amount. Yeah, it's just good in that regard. Just gives +1/+1. Just hitting one thing already makes it value, because if you hit one thing, it becomes a 6 mana. 6 mana 5/7, which is good enough. But what you really want to hit is your turn 6 Sea Queen Otohime. You summon this, and then you summon 4 more 1/2s. Well, this essentially becomes a 6 mana 7/8 worth of stats if you play it on an empty board turn 6. Like, if you play this turn 6 on an entirely empty board and your opponent has no follow-up, you pretty much win just because of how much raw stats you get out of this card. This card is really, really strong. And then even more strong if you buff it up with Sage Commander, because then you're getting like you trade in one of your bodyguards. Like, in case I mentioned it, but yeah, bodyguards are 1/2s. But yeah, you trade one of your bodyguards, drop this, and then suddenly all your bodyguards are 2/3s. Very, very strong, very value card. Very good in the mid-range just control matchup. Although it is susceptible to AoE, but honestly, AoE would kind of go even because most AoEs that come out are 6 mana. Anyway, moving on. Tsubaki. If you play Hearthstone, this is essentially a big game hunter, but stealthed, and it costs more. But it's okay, everything in this game costs more than Hearthstone. Also, it's only 5 attacks, so that's really good. Like, if you drop this turn 6, you almost always be hitting something with 5 attack. And when you do, it just becomes very good. Like 4/3 worth of stats, that's already a 4 mana card. That's like a 4 mana. That's 4 mana. Add on to the ambush is like, I would say ambush is like 4.5 mana. So you're basically getting a 1.5 mana conditional Dance of Death without the 2 damage. Very good when it gets its effect off. And the ambush is really good for finishing people off because very few decks, like, it's so hard to deal with a single creature stealthed that has 3 health. Like, it's hard to justify. If this is the only thing on board, it's hard to justify throwing down an AoE just for this one stealth 4/3. So it'll usually get to kill something for free with its fanfare, and then it'll usually get to do 4 damage, whether it's to face to finish off or to trade into another minion. Okay, Alwita's Command. This is basically the Call of the Wild of Swordcraft. So it summons you a Pirate and a Viking. So a Pirate and Viking are a 3/2 charge and a 2/3 ward. Extremely versatile in what it does, because you can evolve the ward to kind of get an extra 2 health, become a 4/5 ward, turn 6. It's 3/2 charge, it's very good. Or you can evolve the 3/2 charge into a 5/4, go boom, 5 face damage. Very, very versatile card, very good finisher. It's just an animated version, but yeah, very versatile in what it does. Okay, so mulligans slash strategy slash whatever. As usual, you always want curve. If you're up against an aggro deck, you generally want to see your Vanguard and your Veteran Lancers, because these will trade very well with aggro. Depending on whichever type of aggro, you may want to keep Angelic, Barrage, and Whole Sword Swing. If you're feeling confident enough, if you're feeling it's a more control deck or mid-range, then you're fine with keeping either of these 1-drops. 2-drops don't really matter. You can even keep the main later. 3-drop wise, I would only keep this White Paladin if you're against a deck you know to be aggro, and you know it's like stronger aggro, like things like Bloodcraft and whatnot. And of course, if you're going second, always keep Floral Fencer. It's just too good of a turn 4 to pass up. Unless your opening hand like sucks ass, like you don't have any plays before turn 4, then yeah, ditch the Floral Fencer. But if not, like even if you only have like a 3-drop, I mean you're gonna be hurting in the early game, but you have so many comeback mechanics. Like you have Efficient Removal, Whole Sword Swing, Angelic Barrage. If they get a lot on board, you punish them with Aurelia, and then you can just come back with Sea Queen, just filling up your board. But yeah, so yeah, as always, just follow your curve. May later you can keep in a control matchup, just because it's a slower card. It's fine if you just play it slow. Yeah, past this, like you never want to keep anything above 5, like never. Like I think that pertains to pretty much every deck. Yeah, so that is Midrange Sword.